Welcome to DIY Brothers. I'm Will, and today I'm going to show you how to brine and smoke salmon. This salmon is fish that I caught in the Klamath River just a couple days ago. If you'd like to learn more about that fishing adventure, just go ahead and click right here. Otherwise, keep watching to learn how to make some amazing salmon. Alright, so after you've thoroughly washed your hands and cleaned the fish, so everything's clean, you're sure you're good to go, no problems. I'm going to go ahead and take your fillet, set it on the cutting board. You'll find with fillet of salmon that there are little pins that if you rub front to back on the fish, you'll feel these little pricks. And those are the pin bones or the ribs of the fish. You need to remove them. The best way to remove them, in my experience, is with just an ordinary pair of fairly needle-nose pliers. Keep things pretty finite there. They're really small, so you need to get right up in there and just kind of use the one side of the plier to lift up the edge of the bone, grab it over the other side, and lift. Pull away. There you go. That's exactly what you're looking for. You can go ahead and set this aside. Alright, so just reach in with your pliers, pick out a little pin bone there, grab it with the tip of your pliers, support it with either side of your fingers, pull out. There you go. A little piece of bone there, that little bugger, very small, not very tasty. The reason why we're removing these now is so that when you have your smoked salmon, you don't have these little bones in there every once in a while trying to choke grandma or anything. Just keeping it nice, smooth, even texture by taking out any of the bones, anything that might be in the way or not good. Okay, so we're done slicing our fillets down to the smaller chunks that we're going to put in the brine. So let's get started with that. Move your cutting board off to the side. Go ahead and grab yourself an aluminum pan, kind of like this one. And what we're going to do is a really simple brine. It's just brown sugar and salt. This is to cure the fish, kind of suck some of the moisture out of it, and also impart a little bit of a flavor and give it that little crust on the outside. So, at this point, we're going to grab our brown sugar, and our salt. Our ratio is 2 pounds of brown sugar to 1 cup of salt. So we've got 2 cups of salt here in a measuring bowl. And then we've got 2 pounds for a total of 4 pounds of brown sugar here. We're going for a really simple brine. This is a basic, straightforward brine that we're using because we're going to impart most of the flavor with the smoking of the salmon and the smoky flavors instead of the spices that you could potentially do in a brine. So this is a straightforward brine. Go ahead and open up your baggie of brown sugar. Dump it in there. Grab your second bag of brown sugar. And then dump that in there. And then you want to take your salt and just pour your salt on top of sugar. What we're going to do is we're going to mush this all together and mix it all together, again, with clean washed hands, manually, until it becomes not very obvious that it's two different things. We want to make it into kind of a singular, granular deal. Keep it nice and smooth in its texture, break down all the brown sugar clumps. Scoop around the edges, make sure you don't have any salt buildup anywhere. Alright, so here we have the brine mixture. It's all mixed together and ready to go. We're actually just going to take the pan that we have that in and slide it off to the side. Pan's just a nice working area, a nice mixing place for it. So what we're going to do is grab another pan. This is the pan we're actually going to refrigerate the brine and salmon in. So, take this pan. You want to just move it over by hand, move over the brine into the pan. Grab a pan by hand, and just make a nice layer on the bottom. Go. Alright, so we got a nice layer in the bottom there. Ready to put the salmon in. Salmon. Okay. And then we're going to just lay the salmon into the brown sugar and salt mixture. set it down nicely. Go ahead and move over both fillets, leaving a little space in between the fillets so that the brine can surround it completely. You don't want to have your fillets up next to each other and have parts of it treated and parts of it not. That doesn't really yield the result you're hoping for. All right, moving over. Actually, gonna just turn this fillet and pop it in the side there where it's got a little more space. There we go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to lay another layer of the brine, and the brine is actually going to surround it and go on top of it. Just grab some of the brown sugar, and just make sure you get it kind of down right in those grooves where you need it. Right where it's in contact with the fish. It helps keep it as it should be. Moving little clumps of it where it belongs. Pushing it between the fish. Especially when the fish are close together, you want to make sure you got plenty of brown sugar in there. Packing it in. Alright, so we got it packed in between the slices of fish, and now we're just going to lay it on top. Move big handfuls of it down, just making sure it's all covered pretty thoroughly. Just going through. Yeah. So these fillets are just about 2 pounds worth of fillet. So 4 pounds of brown sugar and 2 cups of salt is just about the perfect amount to put this much fish into the brine. So just kind of multiply that by however many fish you have. There you go. Just break up all the layers. There you go. Smooth surface. Now we're going to put this in the refrigerator. Alright, so it's the next day now. We're here, and we're going to wash the brine off of our salmon. We want to let it cure for about 12 to 18 hours, so basically overnight. You can do it before you go to bed, and then do it in the morning like we're doing. And that makes it a nice, easy system, kind of a good weekend project to do. So what you want to do is reach into your pan, kind of dig down through the kind of chunky slime that will form from the salmon juices being pulled out into the sugar and salt. And from the salmon juices being pulled out into the sugar and salt, you're going to have a stiffer meat. It's going to be stiffer, and it's going to have a nice, smooth, sealing feeling. It's got like a little sealed layer over there, but also a little bit of granular salt and sugar still. So just turn on a little bit of cool water, and just rinse the outermost layer of the granular sugar and salt off. Like that. While it's still maintaining that kind of slick, sealed feeling. You'll feel there's kind of a layer there that's been sealed from the sugar and salt being in direct contact with the fish. Once you've done that, just go ahead and set it on the side. Set it on a cooling rack or a spare oven rack, something like that. We're going to use those to smoke the salmon on as well. Alright, so we're here. Our salmon has been removed from the brine and rinsed. It's dried out now. It took about 45 minutes for it to get to this dry state. It's kind of going to be a little bit tacky still, which is what you want. It's still, you can see the nice jelly layer on the outside. That's what you want in your salmon before you put it in the smoker. We've got our homemade smoker here. This is a cheap, affordable way to smoke your own meats without having to spend a lot on a smoker. If you'd like to learn how to make your own, just go ahead and click on the smoker. If you're a mobile user, however, you can find in the description. The last several years we've used alder chips. We're a big fan of that. We have this alder chips starting to smoke here. You can use sawdust or whatever meat flavor you like. You can get a hickory or whatever you choose. Alder just works really well for us. Let's go ahead and get it smoking. This is a convection smoker as well, so it's going to be moving the air around in there. With our homemade smoker, we find that it takes about 3 to 4 hours to reach 160 degrees internal temperature on the largest fillet, which is the temperature that you want in order to make your fish safe and ready to eat. So after that's done, go ahead and close the lid on our smoker. And now we wait. Thank you for watching our video. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed making it. If you'd like to learn how to make your own smoker, just go ahead and click right here. If you want to see more awesome videos like this, of more reviews, adventures, and projects, go ahead and click right here. Thank you for watching.